Welcome to another edition of Jet Setting. It's Ken Wiebe, Scott Billick, both with Winnipeg Sun. Kenny, it was trade deadline on Monday. A lot of things happened then, but then on Tuesday morning, we find out that Josh Morrissey is gone for a month and a half. How big is that loss for the Jets, given that they had to go in the trade deadline and get some help on the back end, and now they have to still deal with Josh being out?
Yeah, it's a massive hole on the back end to replace. I mean, Josh Morrissey does everything for the Winnipeg Jets. He's used in all special teams. He plays a high number of minutes, and he's on the shutdown pairing. There's basically nothing he hasn't done this year on that shutdown pairing with Jacob Trouba. We suspect it's a shoulder or a collarbone issue after that hit from Vinny Hinostroza. You could still, when he dropped his stick right away, you knew it was probably bad news, but the results are in, and it's not good for the Jets for sure. They were already without Dustin Byfuglien and Joe Morrow, so those guys on the back end will have to kind of band together and try to elevate their collective games, which is a challenge to do when you're without two 20-plus minute players. We know Byfuglien is supposed to return to the ice at some point this week, but he's probably on the shelf for at least 2 more weeks. So some of the newcomers will have a chance to step right in, and guys like Jacob Trouba, Tyler Myers, Ben Sherrod, who had a really good game on Tuesday, those guys are going to have to step up their games.
Yeah, on Monday there at the trade deadline, they obviously added Kevin Hayes from the New York Rangers. Spent some big picks and Brendan Lemieux on that. They also got Nathan Beaulieu, who came into the lineup on Tuesday night and played on the top pairing right off the bat. What did you see from the two guys who walked into the lineup and played some pretty good minutes?
Yeah, Beaulieu was a very impressive debut, especially when you consider he's hasn't been in the lineup very much for the Buffalo Sabres, playing only 30 games. It's been a tough stretch mentally for him, but really kept it simple. I thought he skated very well, and he's not afraid to engage physically. I think he was a perfect partner in Game 1. I don't think his debut could have gone much better. As for Hayes, he showcased the talents that we knew that he had on the scouting report. Very good skater, very good passer, really did a nice job to spring Brandon Tanev for that breakaway. Excellent in the face-off circle. I think there were maybe 1 or 2 times where maybe he could have elected to shoot rather than pass, but he told us he was a pass-first player. In terms of some of the other guys' additions the Jets made, more depth related, but I think it'll help them both on the front end and the back end as they go through the final quarter of the season.
Yeah, and the final quarter of the season has kind of started in a way that the Jets wouldn't have liked. They're on a streak right now where they've only won 1 game in the last 6, and they on Tuesday dropped to their 4th straight to the Wild this season. What needs to change here? I mean, against the Wild maybe and going forward in the last 20 or so games.
Yeah, you know what? Until the last 2 minutes arrived, Paul Maurice probably had a pretty easy video session for his group when they came back to work on Thursday, but they had a collapse. I mean, this is something that's happened now twice in the 4 games against the Minnesota Wild. Tough break maybe on a power play goal through traffic, but just lost coverage on the game winner from Joel Eriksson-Ek. Dmitry Kulikov was in the proper position, but if you're not checking the opponent's stick, you're not checking him. So to me, the defensive coverage is an area the Jets really need to improve on during this last quarter. They haven't been as committed to team defense, and at times their puck management has been an issue. So we know that they can score goals, they're very gifted offensively, and we know that they can buckle down defensively when they commit to it, but that's what they're going to have to do if they want to stay in this race for first place in the Central Division with not only the Nashville Predators, but now the St. Louis Blues, who are making a hard charge.
Yeah, and the Jets are now 19-4-3 when leading after 2 periods, so something, again, that they're going to have to clean up. It's been another edition of Jet Setting. For Ken Wiebe, it's Scott Billick. Thanks for watching.